Today I am sharing what I wish I had known when I was booking my flight because everything that came after was a big question mark. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to expect from booking your flight to navigating your first day in Germany. With that being said, let's get straight to it. Alright, so let's start with booking your flight ticket first. Now I assume that most of you are in the middle of booking one, but for those who have already done that and are ready to fly, feel free to skip ahead. So I have these 5 important tips for those of you who want to book their flight ticket and want to get the best deal possible. So here's tip number 1, book early. Most of the international flights to Germany are way cheaper if they're booked 2 to 3 months in advance. Tip number 2 is use flight comparison tools. I know there are many of them, but the trusted ones are like Google Flights, Skyscanner, Hopper, and similar other websites like FlightFare that help you compare different airlines, their prices, and even layover time. Tip number 3 is consider multiple airports. As you might already know this, Germany has major international airports in big cities like Frankfurt, Munich, Berlin, Hamburg, and even Dusseldorf. With Frankfurt being the biggest hub, I think chances are your landing would be there. But even if it isn't, you would still be okay as transportation is pretty solid here. Okay, so tip number 4 is flexible dates is equal to better deals. Flying midweek or during off peak seasons like late fall or early spring can help you save a lot of money. For example, those of you enrolled in the winter semester, which is probably going to start in the next month, first week of October, I believe. The right time to book your flight ticket is now. And same goes for those enrolled in the summer semester. 10 to 15 days prior to your intake is much better than delaying for a week and then paying a lot of money on the same ticket that would have costed you comparatively lesser. And lastly, tip number 5 is layovers or direct flights. Now I know that direct flights are much convenient and even time saving, but they are not cost effective. So if you are someone who's on budget, it's better to look for nearby European cities to Germany like Amsterdam, Paris, Zurich, and all. I would like to mention that I had a connecting flight from Mumbai to Amsterdam where I had a 1 hour of layover and then a connecting flight to Berlin. And I traveled via KLM Royal Dutch Airlines. Okay, so now that you have booked your flight ticket, it's time to pack your bag. And just to mention, I have already made a detailed video where I've shared a free packing checklist too. If you still haven't watched it, do check it out after you finish with this one. So to summarize, Germany has all 4 seasons, so you need to pack accordingly. And most importantly, don't forget your universal power adapter and your travel insurance documents along with your passport and visa papers. And yes, you need to carry comfortable shoes too because trust me, you're going to walk a lot. So assuming that you have booked your flight ticket and have finished with packing your bag, it's only a matter of time before you arrive at the airport. And here's what's going to happen once you do. Initially, you need to complete your immigration. And it will either happen in Germany or the city or country where you would have your layover, especially if it's a connecting flight. And I think it would be. So you need to keep your passport, visa, proof of accommodation, and other important documents ready with you at all times. What I recommend you to do is carry a transparent folder and keep all these documents in it. And this folder should be in your backpack at all times. So you wouldn't have to worry about taking it out of your luggage because that's quite inefficient. And trust me, I have gone through this process and I am only saying from my experience. Once you finish with your immigration, you can move forward to the baggage claim, which is following signs to Gepäckausgabe, which means baggage claim in English. And don't worry, these signs will be in German as well as English, so just follow the arrows at the airport and you would be good to go. So now that I assume you have done all this process and just imagine you're walking out of the door, There are two important things that you can still do at the airport. One is grabbing a temporary SIM card or an eSIM if you don't have any data plan active once you're in Germany. But the alternative to that is uh, purchasing an international data plan from your home country for the next 24 hours or the initial week, the first week of your arrival, so that by the time you get a new SIM card, I mean the German SIM card, you would still have the data plan and you wouldn't have to worry about making phone calls or etc. Of course, there would be Wi-Fi at the airport and even at the place where you have booked your accommodation, but it's just a safety measure. And yeah, the second thing is carrying euros, which is in cash. I'm not talking about the Forex card, I mean cash. You can, of course, do the currency exchange at the airport itself, but I would say that is going to cost you a lot compared to what you can do in your home country, so that you can save money on the conversion rate. So the safe amount to have with you is at least 500 to 1000 euros, depending on how much you can carry with you. And just have those euros so that you wouldn't have to worry about making payments. Okay, so once you're out of the airport, the first destination you should be at is your apartment, the place where you have booked your accommodation. And I recommend you to just take a screenshot or print out the address along with contact details of landlord, because if in case your phone dies or you don't have internet connection, you wouldn't have to worry about it. And even though you can take S-Bahn or U-Bahn or any other mode of transportation in big cities like Frankfurt, Berlin, Munich, what I recommend you to do is book a cab or even a taxi at first, because that would straight away take you to the address without any effort. I know that's going to be a bit more expensive than you would expect, but it's a one-time thing. And in small towns, if that service doesn't exist, you can always look for ride shares or shuttle services, which I believe are near the airport. Though you would have to do a bit more research on that, as in my case, I booked a cab once I was in Berlin. I guess I used an app called Bolt for the first time, and it was just a 10 or 15 minutes drive from the airport. Before I wrap up with this video, I need to also tell you that you need to have a public transport pass, at least for temporary travel. I mean, you cannot always use Uber, Bolt, or Free Now services like these to travel because they are just cost inefficient. So just get a public transportation pass for first 24 hours, which is, I guess, called Tageskarte, and you can travel pretty much everywhere in the city. I made a mistake of buying pass for the entire week because I didn't know what I was purchasing, and it nearly costed me about 50 euros. So just be cautious before making the payment, and double check before the transaction happens. And do install apps like DB Navigator, Google Maps, Google Translate, AccuWeather, as these are some of the important apps that make your life easier in Germany. Of course, I would cover a detailed video talking about the essential apps in future, but these are just some of the lifesavers that you should have. And that's all for this video. I hope I was able to give you some clarity and pre-understanding of what's going to happen once you come here and how you can prepare for it beforehand. If it has been helpful and you have watched it till here, do hit that like button, drop a comment before you leave, and subscribe the channel for more such content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.